I do these every now and again throughout the year. I visit different schools and for different things. Sometimes it's just giving a talk to a classroom, or this one was having the pleasure of presenting the end of year school sports awards. So various different sports, Gaelic football, soccer, running, basketball, a bunch of different sports. So getting to give out the awards, which is always a bit of a kick, always enjoyable. It's a fun day for the kids. Everybody's in good form. They're coming up to their summer break. And then they asked me to say a few words at the end. And sort of depending on who I'm talking to, or length of talk, or what it's for, different lengths of time. But it's pretty much I try to get across the same message every time. And that is, I try to talk about the importance of failing and failing well. So that's kind of my gig. Obviously, Win or Learn. It's my book, and it's got the underlying philosophy of everything I do in the gym. I think it is one of the most important messages we get from sport, is that anybody who plays sport to a decent level, they learn this early on. Jiu-jitsu is a great example because we get tapped out, so we know that's a loss. You get arm lock, someone takes your back, chokes you, and at the start, that's all you do. White belt, you're just a test dummy for the other belts to tap out all over the place. But then, over time, you're getting caught a little bit less. You're learning to keep your elbows in. You're keeping your chin down. You're hand fighting. And then all of a sudden, one day, you are the one, and you catch somebody with a submission. So it's a great learning tool from a philosophical point of view, a physical philosophical point of view, on what it takes to get good at something. And that is just hours and hours and hours of failing, thousands of fails. How many times did a black belt being submitted on the way to being a black belt? No one gets to even blue belt without being tapped thousands of times. So why not on the first time we fail and the first time we lose, why don't we quit? Because we know that that's just absolutely healthy, absolutely normal, perfectly normal to be failing and losing all the time. As long as we're failing up to success, we're failing up to getting the next belt, we're failing up to improvement, 1% improvement. We're failing up to that. We don't want to fail down to quitting. That's when someone loses. And when you quit, it's over. There's no room for improvement. You give up. And that's, I think, the number one thing I want to get across. And anytime I have a chance to talk to kids, I at the same school actually I visited last year, and I spoke to their business class, and they were asking me about my gym and it's being pretty successful. And some of the kids in the classrooms, they were having ideas for a shoe shop when they graduated. Another kid, they did all these different ideas, and they were asking me, you know, what's your advice on this and the economics of this and so on. And I said, look, I don't really know any of that stuff. I hire accountants to do that. But what I do know is that whatever industry you're going into, you're going to spend the first couple of years failing, and you're going to get knockbacks, and you're going to almost have the lease on this nice building, and then it's taken away from you. Because that's how I've gone through all this. When you do finally get your place, you're going to spend more time washing floors and unclogging toilets than you'll be happy about. But that's going to be part of it as well. So we need to get used to this process, because there's no way of skipping it. Unless you got some super rich parent or something and set you up and then ignore everything I'm talking about. But if instead, if you're going through that kind of entrepreneurial journey to having your own business, get used to just hearing no, other person's at the getting, and just knock back, failing, but failing up. And every time you fail on something, I know what I did. It was this, and this. And fix those things, and then you go again, and you go again. I gave a quick speech at the sports awards that I think that's what the importance of sports awards is, that we do celebrate those who win. But the fact that we've picked a winner means there's a lot of people who lost, who failed. So what do we do about them? It feels cruel. Should we go with the more American model of participation trophies? Everybody's equal. Of course not. So we want to learn early on that losing is not that big a deal. Failing is not that big a deal. You just get back up and you go again. And we have to teach kids and ourselves to get that thick skin, to get that resilience in us, that we know how to use failures and setbacks. And that's what my life has been about in business and in my fight team, dealing with losses and dealing with losses in jiu-jitsu or MMA or kickboxing or whatever, is that we don't quit. We accept the results. We accept responsibility for them. We look at where we went wrong. We set about a plan for improving. We keep ourselves accountable to that plan. you got taken down a single leg every time. Okay, well, how are we going to change? Okay, we'll fix the technique, fix the single leg defense. Now we're going to have to drill it, and then in a month's time, let's test it again. We can't just say we're going to do it. There has to be a plan, and we have to be accountable. And then after the month, we say, well, how many hours a week did you drill that? Well, I had to do this instead. No, you didn't keep up your side of the bargain. So keep yourself accountable for whatever that plan is. And that's the only way I've seen of improving and getting better and using these things, using losses and failures for what they are, and that is their lessons. So this is what I try to hammer home every time I get a chance to visit a school.
I'll just very briefly say that I love award ceremonies. I love celebrating people that reach elite levels in whatever we're doing. I find that very inspiring. I know a lot of schools now, especially stateside, they won't do anything like this till instead everybody gets a participation trophy. I think that's complete nonsense. And the reason why, I think when you initially think about it, it sounds a good idea, it sounds kind. Everybody gets an award, everybody feels okay. But the problem I see with it, and it is the problem, is that you don't get used to doing something you're going to spend most of your life doing. And that's failing. Failing and losing. That's going to happen to you again and again and again. I have a joke that I train the best losers in the world. The reason why I say that is because all of my fighters learn early on what the reason for failing is and how to use losing to your own advantage, how to improve on that and keep coming back. We don't fail down to quitting, we fail up to success. So celebrate the ones that have reached this level this year, and next year try again, fail a little bit better. In time, success will come your way. So thanks very much, everybody. Thank you.